All worship the King, all glorious above, and gratefully sing his powerful love. I don't know all the words. Great song though. But it's not happening a lot these days. So why is that? If the king is coming for his rainy days, but good rain because he will reign as king. Well, what church is preaching about that coming king that all the earth will bow to? Because division seems to be as good with some churches as the walls they built so nicely. And wow, some of them are $1 million houses too, believe me. And if they are dens of thieves, well, those thieves aren't repenting yet. So it might be good to check the paint on the walls and see if it's covering up king's blood. Because, you know, the plague was in Egypt and blood, like, around the door jamb, like, helped. But it seems like that kind of blood right now is much less important than mummies like the pyramids had. So I guess if you want to be a mummy and mummy up for your king, or maybe it is a prince because they never want to preach about a king. So another question I love to hear is when people say, who are the remnant and how do they know it's so few? Well, that he first used to confuse me, not so much anymore when I see the fog so many are in with their hellboys doctrines that they think will save them. And these strange texts like Philippians 2 that they've never heard or read, let alone the rest of the Bible. Well, those people, they can either just stay in that comfort zone. Yo, dude, whatever, man. Shuck, I'm good. Well, I hope you're good, because when that day comes and you go, oh, Lord, Lord, and he says, depart, I don't know you practicer of iniquity. See, many people are trying to figure out what that iniquity is, if it's this. But believe me, it's way beyond this. It's serving a beast as king who hasn't come yet, and getting a yeasty heart, such a know-it-all about your doctrines, that you might have passed that line already. See, blasphemy, which Jesus said has no forgiveness in this life nor the next. So it might be a good time to wake up before the whore of Babylon gets de-chaffed. That would be in Revelation 17 if you didn't join a tribe yet in Revelation 7, which many spiritual bigots say that's a racist thing to do, but aren't they the ones that say if your skin color's the right one, that you're part of the 30% with higher IQ that have always ruled the world anyway? That's why they're bankers? I don't know if that was the chosen, but it's chosen for something, that's for sure. And there's frozen planets coming for some people's faith. But I don't think you want to be on that tribe. And that tribe's not in Revelation 7, so that might be the one to get on. Because if I haven't mentioned it already, as I've done, I think, too many times, but Catholic Radio prays 24/7 to be a church without walls, which is what Universalist means. And even though I don't think the Pope is God, I do agree with that, because Philippians 2 says every knee on earth will bow. And I always thought those Testigo de Jehová, Jehovah's Witness, that they were really working hard as if they had fear of a king who's coming and will reign for 1,000 years. And Greg Laurie and many pastors love to mock their beliefs, but they're doing more for the king and earning gold from what I see in 1 Corinthians 3. And if their theology is wrong about the deity of Christ, I don't think them bowing before him will make him mad about their theology. If you, Mr. Greg Laurie, are still preaching princely reign games with your little shuffleboard with the Bible, wow, it's definitely entertaining. I guess those surf shows soon with the false teachers that become pillars of salt so that the ocean is gone for 1,000 years. It might be part of the big show, and that's why I guess you'll just keep preaching with your sold out beast marked heart, because you've already blasphemed. So I guess you're not going to serve a king now, because you might be one of the ones hiding in the rocks. So if you think that your Christian faith is saving you right now, you better check, because you might be one of those faux Christians, saved by grace and all, and you got your doctrines down real well, but you don't know no king, and that means your church and leaders have been praying to a prince demon, not my king. And that's gonna get ugly real soon. So I'd get off that trap. If you want to go to church, go at least Catholic, as in no walls and all that. But if you do go to an actual Catholic church, make sure you don't think that the Pope is God, or that any of these pastors that want to be called Father you actually address as Father in your heart, or think that communion service and all these things are part of what saves you from your king. No, your heart bowing to him one-on-one, alone in that room, that secret room of Matthew 5-7, that's the one that will prove to him that he's king to you, not any pastor or any church or any pope at all. So just get rid of your bigot mind that thinks that all will burn in hell but you and your spoiled brat mind. No, that mind and its heart has a place coming, but you might want to get off that boat. Row, row, row your boat ashore. Hallelujah. That's King. Come. You know what I mean? Not, come now, Jesus. There's more to that, see? So this would be a day not to be a bigot anymore and look on others as not gonna make it, but start loving God rightly and loving others as yourself, and then it might be easier to draw others to the kingdom, to have them all bow right, not think that most will do it from hell, because that's only made for the demons and his type. So, if you do see a JW, yes, Jehovah's Witness, and know who they are, then love them like a brother and say, I want to worship that king that's coming too. And maybe you'll be on the same tribe as they are in Revelation 7 when the king comes. And it won't be about which church you go to. No, I'm not trying to tell you to become a Jehovah's Witness, but I'm telling you to think like they are, and that they do look for a coming king, and it seems like they do believe 1 Corinthians 3 is true, where all our works are tested by fire by that king, the judge at the Bema seat. So it might be a good time to just get right with the king and make sure that your church is real and not a faker like I think all but Catholic and maybe JWs. And, well, Mormons have always followed the 2 greatest commandments, but they do have some strange doctrines too. And I think maybe 100% of the churches have bad doctrines, but they don't remember those basic things, like when Jesus said, unless your righteousness exceeds that of the Pharisees, you will have no part in the kingdom. So that might be why almost 100% of the churches don't want to preach about a kingdom or a coming king, because they've already planned to go to a planet that's cold. Kind of like Mitt Romney. He thinks he might rule one. Well, Star Trek, the latest, might unfold. I don't know. But it's nice to get on a ship that you know is with the coming king that all will bow down to, and his kingdom come to earth as it is in heaven. That means it's not in heaven anymore. So anybody that's talking about going to heaven, well, it's supposed to be here now. So you need to wake up. And wow, the president of Mexico seems to have awoken, because he says they're going all organic. And that's kind of like, he thinks the golden rule might come to the golden age, and he wants it to be ready. Well, that's what I thought we were all supposed to do. So I don't know. I mean, it's like a zombie fog. You got to get out of Zombieland, and I think Zombieland is the churches. So if you're in a zombie church, you might want to get out before the king comes, and fire comes with him, I think, because that fire isn't the hell for those who don't have your doctrine. No, that's like to divide the wheat and the chaff, and oh, it's gonna get ugly, because I think some of them are just too fogged up. You see, that glue trap of the doctrines of men has made hellboys for sure, but when they get together with those thieves and, well, I think even, isn't that Calvary Chapel pastor in Carlsbad whose sons sing in Switchfoot, which I like, but he's part psychologist along with his whatever theology degree. So he's like a God's brainwasher boy? I just don't quite get that. I don't hear him talking about a king. Oh dear, these doctrines of men and what they do to the minds. It might mean that that's the beast's mark. See, they've blasphemed, and, well, it might be done for them. They just want to see how many people they can take down with them. So, get off that boat and get on the right team, because the king's coming. And it's easy to talk to him. He knows it all anyway, and he's got the naughty list. So just pray to him and bow to him, as all will do him, and it'll be all good for you.